So you're dreaming of studying in Belgium, right? But maybe the whole visa thing feels a little overwhelming. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down the entire application, step by step, and give you a really clear roadmap to get it done. Because let's be real, getting all that paperwork in order, that's your first and probably most important step on this whole adventure. So yeah, let's dive right in. All right, we've split this whole journey up into 5 clear parts. First, we'll tackle getting your diploma recognized. Then, we'll get into building your actual visa file. After that, we'll talk about the decision process. You know, the waiting game. Then, what you need to do the moment you arrive in Belgium. And we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you absolutely cannot forget. Okay, first things first. Before you even begin to think about that visa for your bachelor's degree, there's a huge hurdle you have to clear. Belgium needs to officially recognize your foreign diploma. And let me tell you, this is a totally non-negotiable first step. So what even is this equivalence thing? Well, think of it like this. It's the official process that says your high school diploma from your country is just as good as the Belgian high school certificate, which they call the CES. If you don't have this, you can't enroll in a bachelor's program. Period. It's basically your academic passport to get into the Belgian university system. Now, you really have to pay attention to this timeline because it is incredibly strict. Applications open up in mid-November, but that final drop-dead deadline is July 15th. If you miss that date, you're pretty much out of luck for a whole year. So the biggest takeaway here, please do not wait until the last minute. So the process itself breaks down into 3 main things you've got to do. 1, gather all your documents and make sure they're certified copies. 2, pay the administrative fee. And 3, send the whole package off all at once. I'd really recommend using registered mail so you have proof that you sent it. Okay, let's talk money. The administrative fee for this equivalence process is 400 euros. And just a heads up, this is non-refundable. So even if your application gets rejected, you don't get that money back. All right, for the heart of your application, you're going to need a few key things. Certified copies of your diploma and your transcripts, a copy of your ID, a good motivation letter, and some kind of proof that you're eligible for university in your home country. But, and this is super important, pay close attention to that last point on the list. You have to send the original proof of payment. A photocopy just won't cut it. Okay, so once you've got that equivalence application sent off, it's time to move on to the main event, putting together your student visa file. The visa you're going for is called a Visa D. That's just the official name for the long-stay visa. You know, for anything over 90 days. It's the standard one for all non-EU citizens, and since you'll be studying for a while, this is the one you need. Think of your visa file as being built from a few key pieces. You'll need a copy of your passport, of course. You'll also need that admission letter from your university, a special medical certificate, a recent criminal record check, proof of health insurance, and, this is a big one, proof that you have enough money to support yourself. Now, let's talk about the money side of things, because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. There are 2 separate financial requirements. First, there's the administrative fee. They call it the redevance. That's just a one-time fee to process your application. Then there's the proof of sufficient funds, which is you showing them you have enough money to live on for a year. They are totally different, and you have to prove both. That processing fee, the redevance, is 245 euros. And just like the equivalence fee, it's mandatory, and you're not getting it back no matter what. So for the living expenses part, you need to prove you have access to a certain amount of money each month. Right now, that magic number is 835 euros per month. Okay, so how do you actually prove you have this money? You've basically got 3 main options. You could have a scholarship, you could use something called a blocked account that you set up with your university, or you can have a sponsor who signs a formal agreement. Now, if you go with a sponsor, be warned, the financial rules are super specific. Your sponsor has to prove they earn at least 2,131 euros a month after tax just for themselves and their family. Then you have to add the 835 euros for you on top of that. So all in, they need to show a net income of almost 3,000 euros a month. That's a pretty high bar to clear, for sure. All right, you've done all the hard work, gathered every document, and sent it all in. Now comes the wait. So let's talk about what happens next and what the possible outcomes could be. Officially, they say the processing time is 90 days. But here's the reality check. thousands and thousands of applications all land on their desks at the same time during the summer. If you apply late, you're running a huge risk that your visa just won't be ready in time for the start of your classes. When it's all said and done, it comes down to two simple outcomes. Either you're approved and you get that visa D to head to Belgium, or it's refused and they'll have to tell you why they made that decision. Now, this is interesting. Even if you're approved, you could get one of two different visas. If your file was perfect, you had your final enrollment certificate, your health insurance all sorted, you'll probably get a visa that's good for a full year. But if you only had a conditional admission letter or your insurance wasn't finalized yet, you'll likely get a temporary 4-month visa. That just means you'll have to finish up those last bits of paperwork after you get to Belgium. Okay, let's fast forward. Your visa's approved, you've packed your bags, and you've just landed in Belgium. Congratulations. But hold on, you're not quite done. There are a couple of super important things you have to do right away. Listen carefully. You have exactly 8 days from the day you arrive to go to your local town hall, they call it the Administration Communale, and register your arrival. This is the step that kicks off the process of getting your official residence card. Whatever you do, do not put this off. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the absolute must-knows. 1. Hit that July 15th deadline for your equivalents. 2. Remember, those fees are mandatory and non-refundable. 3. If you have a sponsor, their income has to meet that super strict calculation. 4. Apply for your visa as early as you possibly can. And 5. Register at the town hall within 8 days of arriving. If you can nail those 5 things, you are in really good shape. You know, when you think about it, this whole bureaucratic process, it's really just about taking your dream of studying in Belgium and turning it into a perfectly filled out form. That application file is literally the key that unlocks the door to your future. So the only real question left is, are you ready to submit it?